Okay.
Can't say anything, can we?
I'm already filming, but anyway. I've just bled the fuel system. Got 4 of us to start it, because one person needs to hold the fuel tank off with Victor, which is Dad, and he needs to balance the engine. One person needs to hold that hairdryer in there, and the 3rd person needs to crank it and put the decompression valve. And the 4th person is just filming. So here we go. Hold that there. Yeah, hold that right in there. Nah, okay. Let's turn it off.
So now we're on full throttle.
I put it on full throttle to try and start it. Nah. I put it back a bit. Nah. We'll leave it for now. It was fun while it lasted, but anyway. I'm pretty sure that one of these little pins in here is broken, because that there can move without the other side moving, because this is connected to the governor, so when that pushes up it's meant to sort of move it, but it doesn't, so I'm pretty sure that's broken. I'm also leaking a bit of fuel out of the fuel filter, because there's a bad gasket up in here, so I'll have to sort of try and find a replacement. I was just cleaning my room, and I found this battery charger here. It's an Arlec Power automatic. Output is 10.5 volts DC 3 amps, so that could work. And I also found this 6 volt battery, which should have some power in it. I'll just check it with the voltmeter. Turns out the battery is dead. It's only giving out 1.39 volts, so that's dead. It should be giving out 6, so that can go in the bin. Now I'll test this charger. That didn't work. It wasn't giving out enough amps, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do to heat this up. I don't know. I noticed when I'm decompressing it now, as I'm pushing it down, the valve at the top of the stroke is getting hit up a little bit. So I think the valve might be touching the top of the piston. So what I'm going to be doing is putting a gasket in between here to hopefully space this out a bit more, and hopefully that'll fix it. Or I'll put like something under here. Or if that doesn't work, what I could do is take the head off and put the valve in the lathe and machine a bit off the bottom of it. I've made the gasket, and to hold it in place, because there's no bolt holes going through, it just sort of sits there. I'll just put some of this gasket goo on the bottom of that, around that edge there. Since it didn't start before, and I'm almost positive that that shaft there is broken, the one that's just there, I'm positive that's broken, because that can just move by itself without this moving. I'm going to take off that and just take it apart and see if it's broken or not. I'm pretty sure it is, because it should move together. Okay, I've got it off, and you can see, I should take that out of the vise. This one needs just a clean up, but anyway, that's a different video. Let's see, I need to put this down somewhere. Maybe I'll sit down by myself. Just holding this camera between my knees. Now, you can see that this one here is on the same shaft as this, but this one can just spin around. So let's see if I can Oh, it just comes right off, and you can see there, you probably can't see it, but there's a pin, and the pin's just broken. So what I'll need to do, I'll see if that one's broken, might not be, but yeah, that needs to be redone. This one here isn't broken, so I'll just leave that, but this one's broken. I just need to tap those out, and tap out the pin that's snapped off in that shaft, and then just put a roll pin through. I don't actually have a roll pin which is the correct size, so I might just use could use a nail, or pop rivet fits in, or even just a split pin, like one of the ones you put in and bend around. One of these, one of those. So I'll just see what fits in. I didn't have a roll pin that fitted, so I just put this nail through. See, that's the nail just there. So what I'll do is I'll just probably bend this end up a bit so that it locks it in. I had it on the engine, and I tried to adjust it. There was a screw coming out of here, so I tried to unscrew it, but I didn't see this nut that was holding it on, so it broke the thread. And then I still didn't see the nut, because there was quite a lot of like gunk on the just all over here. So I tried like getting this, because I thought it just snapped because it was seized in there, so I tried getting it out using some easy outs. And then I saw the nut, so I tried undoing the nut. I can undo the nut, I'm still going to have trouble getting the thread out. Okay, I put that screw in there. Surprisingly, that's actually an M6 thread, not a 1/4 inch, which I thought it would be, but maybe someone's taken it out before me. Now what I've got to do is, I've got the injector just sitting out like that. I've got to make it so that I can, so that when it's on start, that's on start, so hopefully it won't shoot up too much. It's shooting out a little bit. So now if I move it up to run, it should shoot out a bit more. It's not shooting out anything. Which means I might have to adjust. Means I probably have to adjust that screw in there. Okay, I think I got it all right. It's a bit weird. It's shooting out more fuel when it's in the start position. So it's shooting out quite a lot. Move it over to run. And it's not shooting out as much. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it. Wait, see if I can get it going with that. Since it's sort of working in reverse, like when it's on start, it's shooting out a lot. I think I know what the problem is. When I put the injector back together last time, there's a piece which can go in either way. So I may have just put it in the wrong way. So I'm going to take the injector pump out and put it around the other way, and hopefully that'll fix it. I'm just in the garage ready to get it started. My dad's not home at the moment, so he's going to pull the car in just outside the driveway. I've just closed that because there's people mowing. Then hook up the glow plug, because I worked out that it would work on the glow plug, but I've got to just tap it on really quickly. Before, what happened when I was out in the shed and it glue red hot was I was using thicker wire, so maybe that let more current through. But I tested it last night using this little thin wire, and it let it go hot, and the wire, this wire actually melted before the glow plug went red hot. So I'm going to do that now. And also, I've wired the fuel tank on, and I was just cranking it around then. I'll show you. I'll do it again. Let's see the I've got my other diesel out to start, and you'll see some fume. You might end up seeing some fumes come out. And those fumes, they smell like diesel. They smell like a diesel car. Like, it smells sort of burnt. So I think it just needs that glow plug to just get it that little bit extra hotter to make it fire. So I'm pretty confident, but we'll see.